It's fantasy football time. The Gunroof Fantasy Podcast of Champions. Welcome to the Gunroof Fantasy Podcast of Champions. This is your host, Connor, the Not Yet Time, Mr. 0-2, Mr. Hot Dog with ketchup and mustard, Mr. Looking for my first win. Like a few of us, you know who you are. I won't name you yet, but early in the season, 0-2, who gives a shit? There's a lot of time left. You got to score points. There's some people sneaking up there with one win, with two wins, that haven't really put up tons of points. And as we know anything about this league, it's going to come down to the last week of the regular season. People are going to be fighting for tiebreakers and fighting to get points to get into the playoffs. Not sure why we're doing 6 with a 14-team league and not 7. That is pretty hotly debated in the league. I think we're going to have to kind of force Griff's hand on that one. I don't know why. I think he's the only one that likes to keep it at 6 for whatever reason. Seems like overall number one seed going in gets a bye. Everyone else plays. We'll have to bring that up. We'll get an interview with Griff and have him plead his case. Speaking of pleading cases, I'm hoping to get some interviews for this podcast and start a segment called Fantasy Court. Gonna hope to talk to Jordan. I am gonna call Spencer and get a little explanation about his team name, Legend of the Fall. I know that's a movie with Brad Pitt, but I think it's going to be great to hear Spencer explain that movie, give us a brief synopsis of what happened there, and then also explain how it pertains to his fantasy team. But then also in that interview, I'm hoping to get a little more information about their trade, about handcuffs being traded, wide receivers being traded, who initiated the trade, how do they feel about it after 1 week. That's fantasy court. We need to know if there needs to be any disciplinary action on that trade happening. But yeah, without further ado, we are going to get into Cullen and I's matchup of the week. So about 12:55 last week, I called Cullen, get a quick interview on what do we think? What's going to happen? What's going to be key factors for our matchup? I think, if I remember correctly, I feel like we were pretty on point. Maybe I'm way off. I'm trying to remember. I don't think anything was that drastic. I was kind of hoping for a decent game out of Chase Edmonds to see him do something, and I was pooped on by that. I got McDaniel'd. One thing I decided, hey, I'm going to go mess around with the backfield, the guy who likes to just start a different running back every week. So who knows? This week against the Bills, Edmonds probably will go off. And then next week, he'll get 4 carries, and the next week after that, he'll get 15 carries. So nice little thing I am certainly dealing with. I'm sure everyone else has their own roster decisions they're making and things they're having to figure out. But, hey, that's the joy. Second week in, that's what's going to happen. Teams start to figure things out. I likely go 0-3 against Griffin. I got to say, his team is kind of really performing on all cylinders. I got to hope that Miami-Buffalo game is played in like an absolute tropical storm. They don't cancel because there's no lightning, but it's like just horrific conditions. That's really my only hope. Or my team needs to start producing. They're one or the other. I need someone to go poopy on Griff's team, like half his team, and then my team needs to go poopy a little bit less. So without further ado, I rambled there. Currently, I should be known, I am sitting in the Gunroo Fantasy Podcast of Champions recording studio, which is my 2004 GMC Sonoma truck outside of my apartment. This is to give you the best quality you could hear. There's no distractions. I am in a sound chamber in here sitting in the dark, recording this for you, but mostly so I don't wake up my daughter Francine. That is really the main reason. She is inside, sleeping peacefully, and this crap does not need to be waking her up. But me, Cullen, interview, matchup of the week. Here we go.
Jesus, what are you calling me for?
Oh, a little matchup of the week. We got 20 minutes before matchup of the week kicks off. You excited?
I am excited. I've got way too many Damien Harris shares going today. I'm feeling a little clenched.
Oh yeah, I was hoping you were gonna play Ramondre. I could see Harris getting 2 touchdowns.
I know. I can see Harris. I'm thinking I want 3, but I would settle for 2.
Yeah, don't we all? I want Chase Edmonds to score 6 touchdowns today.
Well, I know. I actually just sent a text saying I was telling my buddies from Cleveland that I had too much Harris going, and I was like, he had 15 touchdowns last year. Like, I want 8 today. And but for some reason, I think one of them, I almost thought about playing both of them, but I don't think I can because the game strip goes long.
I think Pittsburgh's going to give them I saw a little narrative. It's the first time Brian Flores is playing up against Belichick after the whole.
Fuck Brian.
Hey,
fuck
congratulations.
Yeah,
I think that defense is going to be playing motivated, even without Watt.
Well, yeah, but you go look at, and granted, I'm not saying Damien Harris is Mixon and whatever, but and he's got to split work with Ramondre, but Mixon I think Mixon put up like 160 all-purpose yards.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, I think it was like 140, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mixon had
they definitely get ran on.
I just don't, I don't believe in Trubisky. I think Trubisky's a dump. I think he always has been. I don't think he's improved. I actually did leave room in my mind that he could have improved, but it was only 1 week, and maybe he did, but he still looks like same old Trubisky from the Bills.
Oh yeah, I'm mad that
or not the Bills, Chicago.
Went Freiermuth. I wanted to get the Muth again, but I went Kmet.
Yeah,
I don't know why I had a feeling.
Well, I am surprised. That Freiermuth had so many targets, but it is Trubisky, so he's looking for just mindless,
anyone that he can get the ball off to.
Yeah, anytime he just doesn't have to make a check down.
I didn't want to touch Pittsburgh because of the Trubisky factor. I heard someone say that he did not even consider his second read. It was eyes locked on one receiver.
Well, who knows how long he's going to be QB though? I think Pickett looked good, and apparently I don't know. I think if I keep picking, if I keep him on my roster, my best.
Oh yeah, those rookie wide receivers they usually come on late in the season.
Yeah, I wish I would have had Garrett Wilson or Jamison Williams though, more than Pickens. Yeah. That was a mistake probably, but we'll see. It's only week 2. Justin Jefferson's week was 3 catches and 26 yards. So
yeah,
we'll see.
So I'm hoping this week we both put up points regardless of the win. But starting 0-2.
Your team's looking good. Bad. Your team's looking good this week. I think. I like Marquise Brown.
I
think Cole Kmet has a bounce
came
back
out
game.
and said Murray came out and said, you got to get Marquise Brown 10+ targets. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Apparently the guy covering him, Rocky Sin, just got absolutely torched last week. So
yeah. No, I like him this week.
The Flames still begin.
You got Mixon against Dallas. I'm not sure. We'll see. That might be a pivotal. That game will be
that's
huge.
That's going to be a big game.
Mixon.
With Zeke and Mixon. I need them both.
And I got the defense, right?
Yeah.
So
you got their whole special
that's going to
team.
be a big game. Yeah, I got Bengals special teams, which I don't know what the fuck they were fucking up. They had a backup long snapper. I don't know if that's still the case, but I'm definitely a little nervous about McPherson. He was the first kicker off the board. Let me down. Just a couple field goals last week.
Yeah, I got Greg.
So yeah,
Greg
we'll
going
see. I
Monday
don't know.
night. I almost
What's
picked
that?
up two. I said I got Joseph going Monday night. I almost picked up two, but I was like, well, I want the Monday night factor. I want to have
Is
a
Koo
couple
still
more
available?
in the chamber for Monday.
Hey, is
No,
Koo still
someone picked him
available?
up. No.
I was gonna say I picked him up in a couple places. I had
I was
relationship.
gonna pick him up. I was gonna pick him up just for later in the season, but I didn't want to get the flack for two kickers.
Dude doesn't miss, man.
I know.
Who doesn't miss?
And I mean,
got...
and your team name could be the Cuckoo. You know, I mean, that's worth rostering just for that.
Plus,
so,
you get the
matchup of the week. It should be interesting. I hope you have a bunch of gifts locked and loaded. I think that's what the people are waiting for. They're
yeah. Well, I know
a
you
lot
do.
A lot of chat action. Yeah, I've been searching. Spent most of my morning just going through and looking for funny gifts. So it's all about keywords.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about the
right.
keywords when you're searching.
Getting creative with the keywords. Okay, that's
yeah,
where you're getting all your
magic.
magic.
You got to use Google optimization. Potentially some AI. You got to get another computer going, just kind of rifling through.
You're not pulling gifts from outside of the Yahoo bucket, are you?
I have pulled some. I've pulled some out of the market. I used the shop phone. I used the shop phone to send the email to the shop phone, and then I copy and paste, send it to the Yahoo. It's something you really got to look into. They don't have enough nipple rubbing gifts.
Hey, I'll say this. I did steal your Leo gift yesterday with my group of buddies here in Louisville. Like we so we played paddle yesterday morning, and it's like just super ultra fucking like it's like fantasy football but for paddle. And so me and my buddy we swept our other buddies 3-0, and like I'm just feeling on top of the world. It's like the same feeling if you win a big matchup, like if you win this week matchup of the week, like you're on top of the fucking world. And like that gift is like so perfect for just being like a total cocksucker, like it's like just how hot, like, just a happy, like, but like also just total cocky. I don't know.
It's the shimmy, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's real good.
I'm hoping to use it 3 or 4 times today at least. With Hollywood's got to catch a big one. He's due for a 50-yard bomb.
I think I'm gonna have to put up. I think
we're both in hundreds.
Well, I'll put it this way. I think 115 is probably going to be the winning score.
All right.
Or at least 115. 115. I think you're going to put up at least 115. I'm going to need to have a really good week. You're going to have a good week. So.
Well, we'll see. I hope when it gets to Monday, I hope it's not a A.J. Brown just catching it.
Hey, you understand why I put Henry in the flex, right?
The flex, yeah. If you need it, you're going Devontae. Yeah.
Well, no, but also like we're still COVID. Like, I mean, what if somebody got COVID and then one of them couldn't play? Like, if I don't know, you got to leave yourself.
True.
Very
true.
Some flexibility.
I was thinking you were going. I mean, Henry against Buffalo, not great. I mean, I wish Hilliard was still in there because I think Hilliard would have been getting.
I don't know, man.
Wins.
Henry's had some real big games against Buffalo. Sometimes it's just about.
Were they winter games in Buffalo? Because I wouldn't want to tackle him if it's snowing out.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you just own people mentally.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like Derrick Henry might have that. I mean, he's like totally punked some of these guys. And granted, New Year.
He's due.
We'll see.
He's due.
I'm not really counting on him. I really need Damian Harris, which is actually really sad that I'm in this position. I feel like Steve with Carson Wentz.
He's way too excited about that. I mean, more than a win for me this week, seeing Carson Wentz just completely implode would be almost as tasty as a win.
Well, we're missing arguably our best cornerback. We're missing three interior linemen, including our Pro Bowl center.
It could get ugly, but man, how fucking great would that be if he spent 65 on a unstartable QB?
And I don't think I've got nearly enough credit for running up that price. I don't think I've got one. I didn't get one separate. Hey, thanks.
I don't know what he was thinking.
Well, dude, I was in
chat. Someone was gonna spend like 50 on him.
Well, I mean, you create a narrative. I mean, he totally fell for it.
Yeah.
You can't argue that. I do hope he shits his pants too, even though I have him in the league. But
Yeah.
I would
Well,
gladly lose in my other league to see Steve just have like 65 points this week.
beside himself. All right. Well, I'm just getting my dad's gonna watch the games. Let's see if this can
All
pick
right,
up.
Spencer going over there?
Let's see. I hope
going
not,
over?
but he's not here. He's not here currently.
All right, yeah, good.
No,
That way you guys-
hold on. Let's see if we can hear this on the recording. In case you didn't hear it, that was me cracking a Coors Banquet. I was gonna try to work out a fart, but I would have pooped my pants.
All right, well, I'm glad you didn't do that. Good luck today.
Yeah, you too.
I'll see you in
See ya.
chat.
Yep.
So, as the matchup of the week preview concludes, Cullen's Damian Harris shares they pay dividends for the most part. He got a touchdown. He had 14 standard points, which I would say that's pretty solid, especially given first half wasn't looking his way, and then second half he scored the touchdown, did end the game writhing in pain on the field with a knee injury. Don't really know much more on that. But since Cullen has Razor, that's kind of best case scenario. Get a touchdown out of the guy, he leaves potentially for the year, and then your backup steps in for the remainder. So, one thing I forgot to say in the opening, because I'm flustered over here. 0-2. You get a little bit flustered. Your team didn't score a touchdown until Monday night. My whole team didn't score a single touchdown until Monday night. I had 2 of them called back. Never good when you see a call is being reviewed. Never a good feeling. And then to have both of them come back with no touchdown. I didn't see the Sutton touchdown, but I heard it was pretty obvious he was out of bounds. And then Hollywood not stretching out, getting down at the 1. That stunk. But too flustered. It's dark in my car. I'm trying to do this late Tuesday night. But episode 3 is, are we having fun yet? Which I know some of you are. I know some of you aren't. I'm having fun. 0-2. Who cares? A lot of time left. Congratulations to the 2-0 people. I hope it's a swift and unpleasant fall from grace. We will see. I will see you all at 3-3. That's where we'll all end up. Nice little dogfight there. But without further ado, we have the rapid recap. Breaking news before we get into the rapid recap here. Somehow a listener in Baltimore has passed on that this podcast is happening, and we had an exclusive interview here with Lamar Jackson in regards to his upcoming contract next season, and the fact negotiations are closed, but he had this to say following his game where he went totally berserk on Miami. So without further ado, exclusive interview with Lamar Jackson. This is what he had to say about the next contract that he will be receiving.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Whoa. You heard it here first, folks, on the Gunroo Fantasy Podcast of Champions. Seems like Baltimore is going to have to take out a loan to handle what he's going to be asking for. It's going to be hundreds of millions guaranteed. It should be interesting. Speaking of loans, speaking of money, let's get into it. Last week, Steve paid $65 for Carson Wentz, $25 for Curtis Samuel. We all laugh, but it looks like money well spent. Stephon Diggs tries to bring Steve back in week 2 with 3 touchdowns on 12 catches, adding 148 yards. Justin Jefferson comes crashing back down to earth, mostly because of Darius Slay, but also because of Kirk Cousins not being good at football. Dalton, the Daltmeister, injures his PCL, so officially Dak and Dalton Industries is closed. But the 3-time, he outlasts Steve's heroic comeback on Monday, mostly because of 46 points from Lamar Jackson, 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 119 on the ground, and 1. Huge day for Lamar. Bills defense completely stuffs Tennessee, 21.5 points there. Damian, the Omen, beats out 32-year-old Rex Burkhead. in touches, so good for the 3-time and good for Damien's career. Moving on to Griff, our fearless commissioner, sitting atop the leaderboard currently, mostly because of 31 points last week from Josh Allen and 29 apiece from Aaron Jones and Jalen Waddle. Those scores allowed Griff to absorb the Albert O goose egg, but Griff is just blowing points up, playing against Dale, which unfortunately for Dale, he has dealt with a rash of injuries to start the year. Kittle and Kamara both out. But for one moment in time, Devin Duvernay with the Dale double dip was able to get Griff to clench so loud that we heard those butt cheeks smash from Maine, Portland, Maine, all the way to Grand Rapids, Michigan. You know Dale's double dipping, sitting there with the sprinkles. Devin Duvernay takes the opening kick to the house. 6 for Duvernay, 6 for Baltimore defense. Other than that, things did not look too great for Dale, but in that moment of time, he was a champion. Moving on to Casey. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Jonathan Taylor looking like the 90s actor, having a pretty poo-poo game, mostly because Matt Ryan is poo-poo. Mike Evans gets tossed from the game. Things were close week 2 for Casey. Him being in the game at the end could have been huge. He also gets suspended 1 game. Luckily for Casey, though, the sun god is looking like an actual god. He is on fire. No sun pun intended. Holy moly donut shop. Jordan, though, comes from the dead week 1. Tua and Tyreek explode for 80 points alone. 80 points from those 2 players would have beat this week. Spencer, Dale, it would have pummeled Vaughn, and I barely would have won Monday night against those 2 players. The rest of Jordan's team, unfortunately, scored 29 points, so pretty poopy. Jerry Jeudy got a boo-boo. He might be out a week or 2, but luckily for Jordan, he probably got the best rookie wide receiver, since Odell Beckham Jr. and Wilson. That's an instant start for Jordan. What a trade. Moving on to Cam, the mangler, Calamity Cam. He mangles Trim thanks to Cooper Kupp and Chubb. They combine for 5 touchdowns. He gets 25 points from his special teams, but I know Cam will never hear this, so I don't know why I even cover it. Seeing Cam participate in the chat is like seeing an African rhino, and just like an African rhino, Cam too is having trouble finding his own species to mate with. Moving on to Trim. Amari Cooper looks like a wide receiver 1, going for 101-1. At least Jacoby Brissett looks serviceable. Kyler Murray runs like a little kid, but gets him 27 points on the week despite playing a pretty average game of football. Darnell Mooney hit the alarms. It is not going well in Chicago. Justin Fields has thrown the ball 28 times in 2 games. To put that in perspective, Joey Flacco, in his 45th year of being a coach or a player in the NFL, has thrown it 108 fucking times. I stumbled there because I can't believe he has thrown it 108 fucking times, and Justin Fields has only thrown it 28. That's scary. Mooney's got to go. Austin, Prestige Worldwide, our Prague contingent, our European contingent. He gets a big game out of Herbert, but he looks like he might have an injury that could be lasting all season. Captain Kirk, looking like a wide receiver 1, goes for 78 yards and 2 spikes for Jacksonville. Monty, in a game where they were losing and Justin Fields threw it 28 times only, he, of course, got handoff after handoff and looked pretty good doing it. Mark Andrews goes for 104-1, and Prestige Worldwide gets 27 points from Tampa Bay defense. Thank you, Jameis Winston, there. Spencer, bad day overall. Take it, throw it out. Forget about that trade with Wilson. I'm sure DJ Chark won't be having zeros very often. He's acclimating to the new team, as in the Lions and yours. Pitts, again, with somehow 2 catches for 19 yards, just like week 1. Barkley and Fournette had pretty poopy games. I'm sure that will change. Raheem Mostert, good for you, bad for me. Looks like he is getting the lion's share of the handoffs in Miami for now until he gets hurt. Huntley sitting at 3rd place in the Gunroo, still trying to trade any and every player he has. Mike Williams, 1 touchdown on 113 yards. Drake London looking like the 2nd best rookie wide receiver next to Wilson. DeAndre Swift, he's slipping, he's falling, he's scoring touchdowns on limited work. I don't think he needs many handoffs to make something happen. Speaking of making something happen, Russell Wilson needs to start doing that. It is not looking good. He's got the keys to the kitchen. He's got food in the pantry, and he can't make a fucking meal. It is not fun to watch. That was against Seattle and Houston, so things are only going to get worse there. Speaking of things getting worse, Vaughn, buddy, welcome to the league. It has been a rough 2 weeks for you to starting out. And just to put it nicely, Cullen has left rest stop bathrooms in better condition than your team last week. So that means just poop on the toilet seat, not even in the bowl, and it is being left there for somebody to find. And unfortunately for you, you are that person. Kirk Cousins is really all I can say. Kirk Cousins is the leader pushing your team with all those Vikings on it, and he is capable of complete diarrhea explosion. But better things ahead, I'm sure, as they get that offense going. Kareem Hunt loses out to 3 touchdowns from Chubb, but luckily, Bateman looks like he can take any catch to the house. Better things to come for Vaughn, I hope. It's not a very great welcome party to the Gunru Fantasy League of Champions. Speaking of fantasy leagues, speaking of champions, not talking about myself, but talking about my matchup of the week counterpart, Cullen. He gave it to me on Sunday. I did not score a single fucking touchdown for the entirety of Sunday, but Jalen Hurts made it close. Cullen was playing paddle all night, so he didn't see it, or at least he made us think that he was seeing it, and he was just clenching so hard he couldn't even look at his phone. But Cullen just beats me out, mostly from a Damian Harris second half touchdown. Logan Thomas spikes it in Detroit. He gets so-so games from Devontae Adams and A.J. Brown, but he's still able to eke out the win. He is 2-0. I am 0-2. Time to right the ship for me. Bigger days ahead. Cortland Sutton still is just not producing the way I wanted. Same with Hollywood. Same with Mixon. Same with Zeke. Same with my whole fucking team other than Jalen Hurts. Better days on the horizon. I am willing that into existence. You heard it here first, folks. I will be probably 0-3 after this week. I'll be honest. Griffin's team looks pretty good, but I need some people to step up here. I am looking to come from the gutter, and I'm going to claw my way back up into the playoffs, and then anything can happen, baby. So, without further ado, the ending of the Fantasy Podcast Rapid Recap.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, Spencer.
Good morning.
All right, let's get into it. We got early morning. I'm drinking coffee. Got to get this interview. The people are chomping at the bits to find out what Legends of the Fall means. First off, give us a brief movie description. We want the beginning, middle, and end. How does that movie end? And then we'll make our own decision on how this pertains to your fantasy team.
Okay, perfect.
So opening credits are done. Boom. Set the scene.
Legends of the Fall starts off with 3 brothers. The youngest is Brad Pitt, obviously, and he gets attacked by a bear, and gets clawed, and he gets to chop off a claw of the bear's claw, and then pretty much the whole movie is just brothers dying in war, and this guy Brad Pitt goes savage and kills everybody, and then at the end of the movie he is like 90 years old, and then he pretty much sacrifices himself to kill that same bear from the beginning of the movie.
So the same bear from the beginning of the movie is somehow an 80-year-old bear. So that bear has lived longer than like 4 bear lifetimes.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from that movie is somebody didn't think, oh, we got to make sure this bear, we got to extend its life somehow.
Right.
So Legend of the Fall. So is that more of a play on you, where the fantasy league is the bear, and you are going
exactly.
and you are attacking that bear, or is it Legends of the Fall? Football's played in the fall. You got Legends on your team. Where's the connection there?
It's a little
Well,
of both,
both.
I would
got,
say.
Got multiple
Yeah.
meanings. Okay.
And then it could
Okay,
also
you're,
mean if
you're,
my
you're
team
Brad,
takes a
you're Brad
complete
Pitt.
Yeah. And it also means if my team takes a complete dump at the end of the season, I can say, yeah, it was the Legend of the Fall, my team shit the bed.
Okay, yeah, Legend of the Fall. Okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try to find my favorite Brad Pitt movie and turn that into my team name. I don't have any that are popping up right now. Maybe Ocean's 11. We'll have that. Maybe that'll be my team name.
Also, the movie was made the year I was born, so.
Okay, don't see the connection there, but well, yeah, maybe Meet Joe Black. That's gonna be my team name because I am currently death is upon me at 0-2, and I'll try to make some weird connection there. But we got to move into another segment here. This is the beginning of Fantasy Court. So you and Jordan, big trade. We got to get some more information on that. Jordan might be looking at a 2-game suspension for some premeditated attacks. My theory is that Najee Harris was faking that injury, playing possum a little bit to try to get you to trade his handcuff away. So who initiated the trade? First off,
actually Cullen did, because Cullen said, Spencer, you better trade Jordan. So I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll trade him.
Oh God, of course.
So I offered him handcuff for handcuff, and then I liked that Chark was getting targeted in the end zone, which he also did last week. I understand he put up a goose egg, but he still got targeted in the end zone twice.
Yep.
So I'm just taking those end zone targets. Yeah.
And it's a little bit of the hard knocks, right? You want to have a little bit of that. You want to have a little bit of that action. I mean, Wilson looks like he could be. I mean, it's a rookie wide receivers. I mean, they tend to come on a little later in the season, but Joe Flacco has also thrown the ball 108 times in 2 games. So who knows if that will continue? But it's rough.
Especially
it's rough
if
making
Wilson's
that trade.
coming back. Right. And who knows when Wilson's coming back and if that could become
Once
even
that
worse
happens,
or not.
somehow that's a downgrade from Joe Flacco.
Right.
But, we'll see how things shake up. So Cullen initiated the trade, actually. So Jordan is a bystander. Cullen there pulling the puppet strings, of course. Who would have saw that coming? So do you still feel good about Chark? Do you think he's going to get some more looks? I think he actually does better when Jameson Williams comes back. Less eyes on him.
Yeah, and I think he's just that big body receiver that Goff likes to target in the end zone. I mean,
yep. Okay.
Hasn't really thrown Hawks way yet in the end zone. It's only been really Chark and St. Brown and one Reynolds.
Yep. Yeah, Reynolds.
So,
Surprised he wasn't a hot waiver wire pickup. I almost put him in my flex. It's getting dire out there already, week 3. So who do you got this week?
I'm pretty sure I play Casey. And he has no Mike Evans due to suspension.
Yeah, so Legend of the Fall. Casey is the bear for this week. So I'm assuming you just got a big bear poster in your room, and every week you're writing a new name on top of it. So you got to get your motivation going. All right, well, thank you, Spencer. Hopefully this recording software I'm using is pretty low budget. So who knows? We'll cross our fingers.
All righty.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Connor. See ya.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
So a couple things to unpack here from that exclusive interview with Spencer. First off, I know myself, I'm going to go watch that movie. Brad Pitt fighting bears seems like something worth watching. Also, to get into Fantasy Court, is anyone surprised that somehow Cullen is involved in this trade that has nothing to do with him? Just something put in your back pocket. If Cullen is telling you to make a trade with somebody else, don't do it. I would certainly pass on that. There is some deliberate moves there, playing every piece. It's chess, not checkers, folks. So yeah, I would certainly think twice about that. But we got the Legend of the Fall interview with Spencer done, so we're moving on in fantasy court. Gonna try to call Jordan. Might have to call his law office to try to get a hold of him during the day, but we're moving on.
Hello.
Hello, is this Jordan Safey, the manager of Acres and Payne?
This is he.
How you doing?
Present. Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. How was that burger today?
Oh, phenomenal.
Awesome.
So good. I went and left you a 5-star review.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Cool. Well, if I don't see a trade come across my desk here in a couple weeks, you owe me $4.63 for those fries. I'll be
Acres is on the block, man.
I'll be waiting. Hey, he looked good last week.
Oh. I don't know about that. Not good enough to carry me to the. I mean, he got some yards.
He got some yards. Yeah. Hey, you gotta take it when you can. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sigh when I said,
Yeah,
"Hey, he looked good."
Him and Najee Harris both getting 40 yards a game.
Yeah. Oh God. Hey, it's early on, but I gotta ask here. So we are getting into fantasy court. So I this is just kind of laid back. No one's detained here, so we just want to ask you a few questions. Pertaining to where you were about 10, 12 days ago when a trade was proposed giving you Wilson and your handcuff. We just got some questions regarding that. So who proposed that trade? Was that you or Spencer?
So Spencer came to me with the trade. Colin had mentioned to me, Spencer was interested in trading handcuffs.
Okay.
And I thought that seemed like a great idea. So I was all for it. And then I saw I think it was Spencer. Colin seemed to be unaware that he had also proposed that I trade Wilson for rookie year Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Yeah. So Spencer goes, I want Chark. I'll give you Wilson. That was the deal.
Yep.
So he's sitting there at the end of the night thinking, I just got the steal here. And it looks like actually Warren is getting some carries in this Thursday night game. So not only did you get your handcuff, but then you got potentially the best rookie wide receiver since Odell Beckham.
Absolutely.
So this was
potentially.
So this was all oh my God, what a catch by is that Pickens? Of course, Colin's gonna play Pickens the game he explodes. Jeez. Wow, what a catch.
Look at that snag.
Wow. Amazing. So back to Cullen here. So Cullen might need to be brought in for some questioning, some detained. It sounds like he orchestrated the whole thing. He was pulling strings.
Well, he definitely, I think, had been in communication with Spencer. Thought that he might benefit from the running back swap.
Okay.
So I think it was supposed to be a mutually beneficial deal that Cullen had kind of orchestrated.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So Cullen pulling strings. I told Spencer. Well, I don't think I told him, but I gave it the a little recap after the interview, saying if Cullen is telling you to trade somebody, don't do it. That is lesson Lesson number one.
I had my suspicions when Cullen said that he was orchestrating a trade.
Oh, yeah.
He did tell me at the draft that I won't be able to trust him all year. But that one worked out for me.
That worked out, yeah. Cullen plays every angle. I will say that.
Absolutely.
But I think my favorite part of the entire thing, after talking to Spencer and finding out it was basically Cullen's idea, is then going back in the chat and seeing how much shit Cullen talked to Spencer for doing the trade.
After he orchestrated the whole thing.
After getting him to do it, he then goes on and calls him a moron. It's just, and that was the takeaway for Cullen. That was all he wanted from the trade. All he was looking for.
That's all he was really after.
All he was after is to be able to go roast Spencer in the chat. So I do think that two innocent bystanders here, Jordan and Spencer, were both. It paid off for you, obviously. I think you both get handcuffs, which is good.
Right. It seemed initially like kind of a.
Like a wash, you know.
Zero-sum trade, yeah. It was just
yeah. But for Spencer, you never want to trade a rookie wide receiver that got drafted, top 10 in the NFL draft, in the actual NFL draft. They obviously liked him.
Well, and in Spencer's defense, I think he saw that week 1 performance.
Yep.
And then. After I saw the week 1 performance from Wilson compared to Shark, I was like, I don't know if I should do this.
Yeah.
And then Cullen said, absolutely do that.
I love it. Oh my God. It was amazing. Cullen tried to get me involved in a 3-way trade, and I was like, yeah, no, that is never, ever, ever happening. There's no way I win that trade.
If Cullen's orchestrating a trade, you'll never know which side he's trying to fuck over so he can talk shit in chat.
Exactly. Last year, he calls me before our, I don't know if you know the story, but it was the Final Four semis of the league. I'm playing trim. I'm having I don't know what defense to play. I don't know if I'm playing New England against Buffalo or like New Orleans versus Miami or something. Cullen, I'm on the fence, and it was my mistake for listening to anybody. But Cullen was like, yeah, you got to go New England. And I was like, yeah, you're right. They've been really, they've been on fire or whatever. It was their worst defensive performance in 3 decades. It was horrific. And of course, if I played New Orleans, I win. And then I would have beaten Cullen in the championship. And then what did Cullen do? Cullen proceeded to go into the chat and talk shit that I listened to him about going there.
I'm surprised he even took credit for telling you. I would have figured he would have just pretended like that conversation never happened.
Never happened? Yeah, see, that's why I have a recording app on my phone now. So anytime... Oh, Najee Harris with a touchdown, but there is a flag to keep you up to date with what's going on.
Give it to him.
So, how are you liking the league so far?
I love it.
Cool.
Man, it's fun. It's definitely the most active, shit talking, podcast making league I've ever been a part of.
Almost too much.
I love it.
Almost too much. So I work on my feet for about 10, 11 hours a day, and then I come home and try to put together a podcast that 7 people are listening to. So it's
right.
You got to do what you got to do.
Use your time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's my passion project. Well, so just to Najee got the touchdown. Congrats, Jordan.
Yeah, baby.
You got Huntley-Tron this week.
Is that the first one this year? I think it is.
Oh, he had a receiving touchdown, didn't he?
No, maybe week 1.
Yep. I think I included it in the rapid recap week 1.
Okay. Yep.
Well, yeah, I think Fantasy Court is adjourned here. I think it was a mistaken identity.
I think Cullen is more innocent than some might suspect in this.
Yes, yeah. He pulled the strings, but he basically just gave Spencer a loaded gun and walked out of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He didn't pull that fucking trigger though.
No, he didn't. No, he left it there. All right. Well, good to see you today. Happy belated birthday, and
Thank you, man.
and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you, buddy.
Take care. Bye.
So some pretty damning evidence there between Jordan and Spencer. And it looks like there was a third party involved. I will let the listener decide who that third party was. Somebody sitting there putting whispers into Spencer's ear, getting him to give Jordan a little bit more for that, to make him seem like he's winning the trade. But also, I'm pretty sure that all was just to get into chat and throw some jabs at Spencer. It's all about getting into somebody's head. And that person who won't be named for legal purposes, we don't need a lawsuit coming down on the podcast for misrepresentation. But that person is playing every angle, folks, and it is something to look out for. So in the first episode or first coverage of the fantasy courtroom, it looks like split decision case. It is being thrown out. Fair trade. But it's going to make everyone a little weary about making trades because they don't want to be in Spencer's shoes right now. So, moving on, we were able to get an exclusive interview with Balzania. Dale, the nicest guy in the league. We were able to get an interview with him about his matchup of the week. Hey, Dale, how you doing?
Good, man. What's up?
I'm not sure if you're aware, but I have been recording a podcast for the Fantasy League.
Yeah.
Have you been listening? Have you been listening along?
No, I haven't.
I'll have to send you the link. So for this week, we have every week I'm going by and doing matchup of the week. So first week, matchup of the week was Casey versus Vaughn.
Yeah.
Last week it was Cullen versus me. Cullen got he bested me, and then this week it is you versus Trim because one of you guys is going to be in the win column. So you got to have matchup of the week there. Right now it's me, you, Vaughn, and Trim. I think as the lowly unwinnables. How are you feeling so far?
About this week?
About this week, this season? I know you've had a rash of injuries to start, which is never a good way to begin the season.
No. Kamara is supposed to return. Kittle's still on the bubble, so I'm playing Fairmouth tonight.
Okay, yeah. Hey, he's been huge. I'm so mad I passed on him for Kmet. I had to drop Kmet this week. He had 2 targets in 2 games. It was brutal.
Yeah, I mean he's been getting around averaging 9 points a game.
Oh yeah.
But they say that he could do pretty good against Cleveland tonight.
Oh yeah.
But Kittle, they said he half practiced Wednesday, and then he half practiced Thursday today. So now they're talking about him
possibly suiting up.
Possibly not playing against Denver. So
I think with him it's almost better if he gets fully rested. And the thing is, so we play not this week but the following week. So I'm expecting you to be at complete full strength. Those guys are going to be well rested and probably score 3 touchdowns apiece. So I'm not looking forward to that. I think
I wouldn't lose any sleep over it, but
well, I don't know. Being 0-2, I'm sitting here pulling my hair out.
You and me both, man. I mean,
it's rough.
I'm the shittiest team in the league right now.
Well, right now, I think Vaughn is going to be surpassing you here soon. Who knows?
He might be, but I was talking to your dad. I was like, I cannot go 0-3. I've got to knock off
Trim.
Trim tonight. I got to knock off Trammell.
Yeah, you got to.
Yep.
Yeah, it's it's still early.
Week,
There's so much.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not like throwing in the towel, but I mean
you got to get the monkey off your back,
Yeah, when you have Kittle and I call them the K's. When I have Kamara and Kittle, out for both the first 2 weeks, I mean, and then I got to tell you, now this week they're saying DK Metcalf should have a big week. Why, I don't know, but I know they're at home.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That...
I did hear Pete Carroll come out and say that they need to try to get him some more, targets downfield.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, he's frustrated. I'll tell you another reason why I'm hanging on to him, because if something don't happen here pretty quick, he's going to be one of those guys like,
Tyreek or somebody.
Yeah, that somebody just, somebody's going to make an offer to him, because I mean he's a monster, but he's just
an absolute
not getting
freak.
any throws.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think that'll change, and that's the thing. It's still so early. A lot of these teams are still figuring stuff out. Trey Lance getting hurt honestly just boosts Kittle, because Garoppolo is more of a he's more of a passer for sure. So I think Kittle and him have a pretty good connection. Kamara, he's a monster. So I think it's kind of just hold tight at this point. And for me, it's like I've been trying to look at trades, but my team is so underproducing that it's like
same here.
It's like I couldn't trade him anyways,
dude.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep,
I'm not playing Rodgers this week against
Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah, no, that's probably not a bad idea. Who else do you have?
The only other guy I got is Tannehill, but shit, he scored 20-something points last week. So
did he really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Who do they play? They play Las Vegas.
They're
right?
at home against LA.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that might not be a bad... I mean, the thing with Rodgers is, one of these games he'll explode. I think it just takes a little bit to get the groove with these new wide receivers. And, it's been an interesting thing. I'll have to send you the links to the other... I just put it up on YouTube for the podcast and just have, a little 30-minute thing talking about the week, trying to be funny, but it's been fun so far. But, yeah, you got Trim this week. I think, I like your chances. Trim's team is looking rough, I gotta say. He's got Amari Cooper going tonight, I think. I mean, I'm assuming he hasn't been.
Yeah, and they're saying, as a play him and sit him, they're saying he's a bust this week.
Yeah, for Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Steelers' defense is legit. I'm expecting this game. It could easily be a 10-14 Thursday night game, which won't be fun to watch, but who knows?
Yep.
Cool. Well, yeah, I just wanted to call you.
So what do? Like, you interview people and...
Yeah, so I've been interviewing people, matchup of the week, like one person from the matchup, and then just interviewing, like, I talked to Griffin last week about his, week 1 win, and trying to get around and interviewing everybody. Usually it's a couple. This episode I'm talking to Spencer and Jordan, and you, and then... Yeah, I do a rapid recap on the last week, which that's been. I mean, I've only done one of them, but it's been pretty fun, and just funny to get a little bit more out of the league,
Yeah, I was seeing you were doing something like that, but I'm old school. I wasn't sure, exactly what you were, pulling off there. But
yeah. I'll have to send you. I'll text you the link to it on the YouTube channel. Yeah, it's usually it's 30 minutes. I think now they're getting a little bit longer just because there's more people want to do interviews, and
sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I have basically 10 minutes of free time throughout the week, so I'm trying to pack it in here.
Well, what do you need me to do then? Or?
Oh, I'm recording this. We are live.
Oh, sweet, great.
Yeah. I got this recorded. I had like a recording thing on my phone, but it's not working. So I actually have Olivia's phone that I'm holding up to my phone on speaker to try to record all of it. So we'll see if the audio is any good. But
Well,
yeah,
speaking of that, how's Francine?
oh, she's doing great. She's almost 1. She turns 1 October 3rd.
And you know, Ty's twins turned 1 in August.
Yeah, it's crazy. How are they doing?
Unbelievable. Oh, dude.
Can't believe how much they look like Tyler. It's insane.
Oh, what's insane is I can't believe they're only a year and a month, and they're like little geniuses.
Oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to meet them. They brought them into the shop when they were itty bitty. And they look like just awesome little kids. Their reactions to stuff, I see pictures, so it's just they look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Landon is a chip all the way
Yeah.
up. I mean, Tyler looks like me, and
Yeah.
I've got baby pictures of both myself and Landon, and I mean, the genes are strong. That's all I can say.
Oh, of course. Well, you have somebody.
Believe it or not, Vivian looks like Linda.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, even Tori, Victoria, she's like, I can't believe how much, Vivian reminds me of, Mom. So
Yeah,
it's amazing.
it's crazy. Genes are a wild thing. I mean, you look at them when they're real little. It's hard to tell. What about have you reached out to the guy who works for Austin to make sure you don't have a long lost cousin living in the Prague, Czech Republic?
Oh my God, isn't that funky, man?
Oh, that was so great.
I've got a lot of doppelgangers, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, seriously, my work. They found somebody in Las Vegas who was a maitre d' at one of the
restaurants or something.
No, the casinos.
Yeah.
And dude, they've got that picture at work. If I showed it to you'd fall off your fucking chair, man.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm gonna get rolling here to watch this Thursday game, but I'm glad I was able to talk to you. I'll send you the link to this when I get it, downloaded and everything. And good week. Or good luck this week. I'm pulling for you.
Same to you, man. I'm pulling for everybody. I mean,
I know you're the chat
league in town, man.
It is. You're the chat nice guy. So, yeah, it's fun. Next week, hopefully both of us come into it 1-2.
I hear you, brother.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you, Dale.
I appreciate it. See you.
Yeah. Bye. Good stuff with Dale there, Mr. Balzania. Gotta love Dale. He is a gamer. He is in it for the fun, and that's what this is all about. He's also in it to win it. And, God, I would love to see that. I would love to see a Dale championship run. It could happen. Kamara could come back. Debo might get some help now with Jimmy G in there. So we're rooting for Dale, especially against Trim. Seeing Trim go 0-3, and then we play in 2 weeks. That would be good for everyone. I think there's a lot of animosity from Trim coming in last year and just wiping the floor with us. So go Dale, go everybody else. Yeah, that's gonna be the wrap of the Fantasy Podcast of Champions here. I am your host. I'm having fun doing this, but I am fucking tired. Worked about 24 hours in the past 2 days. Art prize, offsite events. We got another lady ordering 100 hot dogs tomorrow, right at dinner time. So, the exclusive sponsor to the Gunroo Fantasy Podcast of Champions, One Stop Coney. I will be there all day tomorrow. It is now turned into the meeting spot for members of the league. We've had Vaughn in there. We've had Spencer in there. We've had Jordan in there. We've had my dad in there. It is the official meeting zone where things are discussed. There's no collusion going on. Don't worry. I mean, I am handing out free fries, hoping that can lead me to a prosperous trade. We'll see. If not, some people owe me some money. But good luck this week. I got to get this updated before people start losing it. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Connor, for the Gunroo Fantasy Podcast of Champions. For the Gunroo Fantasy Podcast of Champions. Of Champions. For the Gunroo Fantasy Podcast of Champions.